In this video, we will show you how to replace your rear lateral link on this Jeep Patriot. This is part of your rear suspension, located behind your rear wheel. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. To do this trailing arm, you're going to want to safely raise and support the rear of the vehicle so we can make our way in and behind the rear wheel area. Now from under the vehicle, we have a clear view of our trailing arm. I typically like to start with my upper mounting hardware. This is the adjustment point. It's common for that adjustment hardware to be stuck in the bushing of the trailing arm. If that's the case, you may find that you have a difficult time removing this. One of the first things you want to do is have a look at the cam adjuster point. It kind of looks like an oblong washer. We're just going to make a clear marking on that washer or cam. And once we have a marking on that, we're also going to mark our subframe. This is an important note for during the installation process. When we go to put everything back together, it's a good idea to have this back in as close to the original position as possible. Continuing on, we're going to hold on to the bolt head. You'll find that this makes its way all the way through towards the rear. Along the back side, we'll be using a 15 millimeter for the mounting nut. Using a 19 millimeter for the bolt head here. Now at this point, it's typically a good idea to make sure that you have some movement from this mounting bolt. It's not going to slide out easily. We're going to make our way down to the next piece of mounting hardware once you do have movement. Now in this area, you're going to find that you have an 18 millimeter headed mounting bolt that makes its way through this arm, through the trailing arm, and then out through the other side. There's a welded nut, so we don't have to worry about that area. We'll just remove this 19 millimeter mounting bolt. Now at this point, I have this bolt fully loosened, but it's still wedged in this area, so we're going to make our way all the way up to the upper mounting point again. Just go ahead and lightly start tapping this bolt out. You want to be extremely careful not to cause any damage. Now at this point, we should be able to pivot this and start removing it. There it is, friend. Okay, friend, let's prepare to install our rear lateral link. The first thing we want to do is pay attention to the orientation. Along one side of the lateral link, you're going to find that you have a still bushing. And on the other end of the lateral link, you're going to find that you have a bushing that can pivot. We want to have the side that can pivot in the downward position. So now as we start bringing this in, we want to kind of start up along the top, but we want to have the bottom slide down along this area and then up and into the proper positioning. You can use some lubricant on the metal aspect. It might help it slide in the position easier. Rubber mallet if necessary, a couple light taps. There we are. Now as we continue on with our adjustment mounting bolt, you'll find that I have the bolt cleaned. And I applied some anti-seize to the shanked area, not necessarily on the threaded area. For that, you can use some blue thread locker. Now obviously we do have our markings and we are going to align that, but we're not so worried about that yet. Let's pause on the upper bolt and make our way to the lower bolt. For the lower bolt, you may find that you have to gently flex this to get everything aligned to install that lower bolt. So for this, I'm just using a pry bar. I'm going up towards the body of the vehicle. Up against this arm, we can gently pry as necessary. We'll just get this aligned. For the threads, I am using some blue thread locker. Now we're just making sure that that did start in. With that started in, we're back up along the top. Looking along the back side of the subframe here, you can see that there's two raised notches. Those are supposed to go around this cam adjuster here. For this, we're going to take that cam adjuster plate, we'll slide it into place, start on the mounting nut. Prior to making any adjustments and tightening this, we need to make sure that we safely raise the rear suspension to the original ride height position before tightening anything. We'll start raising this area underneath our rear control arm. You want to be extremely careful that whatever you're using as a supporting device does not slide out of position. Now we have this supported, we're going to start snugging and torquing. There's two different torques. Starting along the top, we'll bottom this out once we have our adjustment made. The torque for this will be 26 foot-pounds. Let's just double check, that looks good. Our torque wrench, 26 foot-pounds. Make our way down to the bottom, snug this, torque it to 70 foot-pounds. Our torque wrench. Okay friend, we finished the installation of our rear lateral link. At this point, safely make your way out from under the vehicle. Take your vehicle for a road test, listen for any odd noises from the rear suspension, and get yourself a four-wheel alignment. Aside from that, thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.